I'm gonna be honest with you. I absolutely hate hunters. For one, it's just a major skill issue. Just cannot kill them for the life of me in PvP. They are the biggest pain in my side ever. Number two, in PvE, their PvE builds are just not fun. I do not enjoy playing hunter in PvE ever. They just suck, in my opinion. They're not fun to play. That's why I play the other two characters, because they're actually fun to play. But I have finally been proven wrong that they actually are fun in certain builds. And this new Strand build with that new aspect that came out is a lot of fun, and I have been enjoying my time playing as a hunter, believe it or not. So I'm gonna go over the build with y'all. Hopefully it's something different from what's been being posted the past couple days. I hope you guys enjoy the build, and with that, let's get started. First off, let's talk about the MVP of this entire build, and that is actually going to be the aspect, the Whirling Maelstrom. Now what this does is when I destroy Tangle, it will weave into a violent writhing mass of strand fibers. The strand mass seeks out and damages targets, emitting raveling projectiles when it defeats them. This is so much fun. I love having a Tangle turned into a Beyblade. So much fun. It's definitely a good pick for the hunters. Now, let's go on to the build. The first thing I want to do is look at the exotics, and that's going to be the Monte Carlo with the Catalyst unlocked, and also the Assassin's Cowl. And what this does is, when I do a powered melee final blow, will grant invisibility and restore a portion of health. Finishers finishers will also do it, and the more powerful the target, the more health and shield and more duration, and the higher the duration goes on this exotic. So let's go over the build now, and what the build and the mods of the build. We're going to be using one hands-on, a heavy ammo finder, focusing strike to get our class ability back, heavy-handed to create orbs, impact induction so we can get our grenade back faster as well. And then on the chest piece, we have 2 charged ups. On the legs, I have 1 innervation, a stacks on stacks, and a recuperation. And on the class item, I have a bomber, a reaper, and a utility kickstart. Going to the subclass now. Our grenade is going to be the threadling grenade. We can just have our minions, and obviously I've already shown off Whirling Maelstrom, which is so much fun to use. And then we're also going to pair this with Threaded Spectre, so that way I can make a Spectre of myself and have those enemies aggro to that Spectre most of the time. For the fragments, I'm going to be using Thread of Continuity. So a suspend, unravel, and sever effects will be increased. They have their duration increased. Thread of generation, so we can get grenade energy from damaging targets. Thread of isolation, so we can emit severing burst from the target. And then Thread of Fury, so our Tango grants melee energy. Now, how these two synergize very well with each other, as when you use the Whirling throw the Tangle at the enemy, obviously you first get that first chunk of melee energy, but then as it continues to damage the target, it also continues to generate more and more melee energy. Not as like chunky as the first one, but just slowly over time will do it. So it's very good for that. So let's talk about the rotation of the build real quick, just so that you guys have an understanding. So we are revolving everything around Sever, and so what I mean by that is Sever got a buff this season where it goes from instead of enemies dealing 30% less damage, they now deal 40. So that's actually a lot considering the grand scheme of things. And funny enough, our melee, the Threaded Spike, also severs them. And so, obviously that goes in between like all of the enemies, right? And Threadings also get a 30% buff, which is why I'm also using them in this build. That's why these two synergize very well together. And with Whirling Maelstrom, obviously as you'll see in the gameplay in a second, the Thread of Fury actually, like I said, lingers for 1 second, and as long as you keep constantly damaging them, Threaded Fury will constantly proc and keep giving you the melee regeneration, and that stacks actually can be stacked with Monte Carlo to get your melee back even faster. And so when you keep throwing your melee, you obviously get chunks of your grenade and class ability since it's since you're using your melee. And so you keep doing that, and you keep just constantly cycling between all three abilities, using the Threaded Spectre to change aggro, Threaded Links for some damage, Threaded Spike for severing. It works out very well. And overall, this build is so much fun to use. I really do enjoy it, and I hope you guys will enjoy it as well. But that's actually all I have for this. I think this is going to be a pretty short video. Hopefully. Rest of the video is just going to be some Strike gameplay, or some Lost Sector gameplay, whichever one I choose. And so with that, I'll see you guys in the next one.